The room is already buzzing when the doors open, but no one is prepared for what's about to happen. Before we begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever judged someone in the first 5 seconds, only to realize later you were completely wrong? Stay with this story until the very end, because what happens next is proof that talent, courage, and heart can silence every doubt. And if stories like this move you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss moments that remind us why dreams are worth chasing. He walks onto the stage with careful steps, almost hesitant, as if the bright lights are heavier than they look. His name is Daniel, a Filipino man in his early 30s, dressed in a simple white suit inspired by Elvis Presley's iconic style. The judges exchange quick glances. The audience whispers. Some smile politely, others raise eyebrows. Elvis impersonators are nothing new, and expectations are low. Daniel feels it immediately, the quiet skepticism in the air. His hands tremble slightly as he grips the microphone. For a brief second, he thinks about his hometown in the Philippines, about the tiny living room where his love for Elvis first began, about the old radio his father used to play every Sunday morning. Growing up, Daniel didn't have much. His father worked long hours as a jeepney driver, his mother sold homemade food to neighbors, and music was the only luxury they could afford. Elvis became his escape. While other kids played outside, Daniel stood in front of a cracked mirror, copying the moves he saw on an old DVD, singing softly so he wouldn't disturb anyone. People laughed back then too. Classmates told him Elvis was old-fashioned. Teachers said singing wouldn't put food on the table. Even relatives suggested he grow up and choose a practical path. But every time life tried to quiet his dream, Elvis's voice reminded him to keep going. On stage, Daniel clears his throat. One judge leans back, arms crossed. Another smiles politely but checks the audience reaction. Daniel introduces himself, his accent thick but his voice sincere. When asked why Elvis, he simply says, "Because his music gave me hope when I had none." A few people clap lightly. Others remain silent. The music starts, slow and familiar. For the first 2 seconds, his voice is barely above a whisper. Someone in the crowd chuckles. A judge raises an eyebrow. It seems like it's going exactly how everyone expected. Then something changes. Daniel closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and lets go of his fear. His voice suddenly opens up, rich, powerful, full of emotion. It's not just an impression, it's a feeling. Every note carries years of struggle, rejection, and quiet persistence. The laughter stops. The whispers fade. People lean forward in their seats. His movements are respectful, not exaggerated, his voice steady and confident. Within seconds, the room shifts from doubt to disbelief. One judge's smile slowly turns serious. Another sits upright, clearly surprised. The audience begins to clap along without realizing it. Daniel hits a high note, and it sends a chill through the room. You can see it on his face, he knows this is his moment. This is for the boy who practiced in silence, for the parents who sacrificed everything, for every person who was told they weren't good enough. Halfway through the song, something incredible happens. A judge stands up. Then another. And another. The crowd erupts. A standing ovation right there, in the middle of the performance. Daniel's eyes fill with tears, but he keeps singing, his voice trembling not with fear, but with gratitude. The applause grows louder, drowning out every doubt that once filled the room. When the song ends, the audience is on its feet, clapping, cheering, shouting his name. Daniel stands frozen for a second, overwhelmed. He bows his head, hands shaking, trying to hold back tears. One judge speaks, voice emotional, saying they expected a joke but witnessed something unforgettable. Another judge admits they were wrong to judge him so quickly. They don't just praise his voice, they praise his courage. Daniel talks about his journey, about leaving home, about failing auditions, about nights when he almost gave up. He says this stage isn't just his victory, but a reminder to everyone watching that dreams don't have an expiration date and talent doesn't need approval to exist. The judges vote unanimously. He's through. But more than that, he's seen. He's heard. As Daniel walks off the stage, still in disbelief, the crowd continues to cheer. Somewhere across the world, maybe in a small living room just like his own, another kid is watching, holding onto a dream they're afraid to say out loud. And this moment becomes proof that even when the world laughs at first, persistence can make it stand. If this story touched you even a little, show your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Stories like Daniel's remind us that greatness can come from the most unexpected places, and sometimes, all it takes is a few brave seconds to change everything. The lights flare up, the music pauses, and before anything happens, let me pull you into this moment, because what you're about to hear is not just a performance, it's a reminder that miracles often arrive disguised as doubt. Stay till the very end of this story, and if it moves you even a little, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this deserve to be shared with the world. He steps onto the stage slowly, almost apologetically, as if he doesn't want to take up too much space. His name is Marco, a Filipino man with humble eyes and a nervous smile, dressed in a classic Elvis-inspired outfit that feels a little too simple for a stage this big. The judges glance at each other. The audience murmurs. Another Elvis? People have seen many before. Some expect a joke, others expect disappointment. Marco feels the weight of it instantly, the invisible wall of doubt pressing against his chest. For a moment, he remembers where this all started. A small house in the Philippines, tin roof rattling during the rain, neighbors packed close together. Music was always playing on radios, phones, anywhere sound could escape. His mother loved ballads, his father loved old classics, and Marco fell in love with Elvis without even understanding the words at first. The emotion spoke louder than language. When life felt heavy, Elvis's voice made it lighter. When money was short and dreams felt impossible, music was the one thing that never left. But loving music didn't mean life was easy. Marco worked odd jobs, sang at family gatherings, small fiestas, anywhere someone would listen. People clapped, but they also laughed. Why Elvis, they asked. Why not something modern? Some said he was wasting his time. Others told him dreams don't pay bills. There were nights he stood alone, wondering if they were right. Still, every time he thought about quitting, something inside him refused to let go. Back on the stage, the judges ask why he chose Elvis. Marco's voice shakes as he answers, honest and simple, because Elvis helped him survive hard times. The music begins. The first few notes are quiet. A few audience members exchange looks. Someone smirks. It feels like history repeating itself, being underestimated all over again. Then Marco lifts his head. His voice doesn't just come out, it pours out. Strong, controlled, full of soul. It's not an imitation, it's a tribute carried by real emotion. The laughter disappears. The smirks fade. The room changes. People lean forward, eyes widening. The judges straighten in their seats. Every word feels lived in, like a story he's been waiting his whole life to tell. Seconds pass, and suddenly one judge stands. Then another. The audience follows, as if pulled by the same invisible force. A standing ovation, before the song even ends. Marco's eyes fill with tears, but he doesn't stop. His voice grows even stronger, fueled by the realization that, for the first time, the world is listening. When the final note echoes through the hall, the applause explodes. Cheering. Whistling. Shouts of approval. Marco stands there, stunned, hands trembling, heart racing. One judge admits they were wrong. Another says this performance wasn't about Elvis, it was about belief, resilience, and courage. Marco is through to the next round, but the real victory is already clear. He proved that being doubted doesn't mean being defeated. As he leaves the stage, still overwhelmed, the applause follows him. And somewhere, someone watching this video feels a spark of hope ignite inside them. Because if Marco can turn doubt into a standing ovation in seconds, maybe dreams really are closer than we think. If this story inspired you, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Together, let's keep sharing stories that remind us never to give up, especially when the world laughs first. Before you blink, before you decide what you think about this man, stay with me, because the next few moments will flip every expectation you have. This is one of those stories you don't just watch, you feel. And if it inspires you even a little, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this deserve to reach every dreamer who's close to giving up. The stage lights come on, and a lone figure stands at the center. He looks calm, but inside, his heart is racing. His name is Luis, a Filipino man who has waited his entire life for a moment like this. He's wearing a modest Elvis-style outfit, nothing flashy, nothing loud. The judges smile politely. The audience murmurs. Some people already think they know how this will end. Another Elvis impersonator. Another quick audition. Another forgettable performance. Luis feels it immediately, the doubt, the low expectations, the silent judgment. He grips the microphone and takes a breath. For just a second, his mind drifts far away from this massive stage to a small neighborhood back home in the Philippines. He remembers power outages at night, candles flickering, his family sitting close together. He remembers singing quietly so neighbors wouldn't complain. He remembers his mother smiling every time he sang Elvis, even when everyone else told him it was pointless. Music was never encouraged as a career. Luis worked long days, helped his family, and sang only when he could. Life wasn't cruel, but it wasn't kind either. He failed more auditions than he can count. He was laughed at, ignored, and told he was living in the past. There were nights he stared at the ceiling, asking himself if this dream was childish. But every time he thought of quitting, he remembered why he started, not for fame, not for money, but because singing made him feel alive. Back on stage, a judge asks why Elvis. Luis answers softly, saying Elvis's songs helped him survive moments when hope felt far away. The music begins. The opening seconds are gentle, almost fragile. A few audience members smile awkwardly. Someone shifts in their seat. It feels like the doubt is winning again. Then, in a heartbeat, everything changes. Luis's voice rises, strong, clear, and soaked with emotion. It's not loud for the sake of being loud. It's powerful because it's honest. The sound fills the room, and suddenly no one is whispering anymore. Eyes widen. Heads turn. The judges lean forward, completely locked in. You can feel the shift, like the air itself has changed. Within seconds, the impossible happens. One judge stands up. Then another. The audience follows, almost instinctively. A full standing ovation erupts while the song is still playing. Luis's voice trembles, not from fear, but from emotion, but he keeps going. Tears roll down his face as he realizes this moment is real. Years of doubt, rejection, and silence are being erased by applause. When the final note fades, the room explodes. Cheers echo. Hands clap until they hurt. Luis stands frozen, overwhelmed, barely able to breathe. A judge speaks, admitting they underestimated him. Another says this performance wasn't about copying Elvis, it was about honoring him through heart and soul. They tell Luis he reminded them why they fell in love with music in the first place. Luis thanks them, voice shaking, and dedicates the moment to his family and to anyone who's ever been told their dream was too small, too old, or too unrealistic. As he walks off the stage, the crowd continues to cheer, and somewhere across the world, someone watching this video feels hope rise in their chest. Because this isn't just a story about a Filipino Elvis earning a standing ovation in seconds. It's a reminder that the world may doubt you at first, but if you stay true to who you are, your moment will come. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. You never know whose dream you're helping stay alive by sharing stories like this.